Hey loves, I know y'all love coming to this channel to get all the latest drama on your favorite TikTokers. I mean, these people are always in some sort of scandal or have become the newest victim of cancel culture.
Tonight, Denver 7's Russell Haythorne goes 360 on the rise of what's being referred to as cancel culture.
But y'all, when you look at the bigger picture, there are a ton of creeps and weirdos on the app that use our favorite social media platform for the complete wrong reasons. And what makes this even more serious, you guys, is that some of these people are huge content creators that use their influence to manipulate their young fans into doing terrifying things for their own personal gain. So today, loves, I'm gonna be talking about the worst cases of predators on TikTok. Predators are nothing new. They have been sneaking around the world for longer than any of us can remember. But when social media became more and more popular as the years went by, so many of these creeps moved to online platforms to find their next victims. And I'm sure even some of my older viewers can remember being taught about internet safety in school. But lessons in school can only teach you so much. And as social media grows bigger with millions of people making new accounts every single day, it's gotten a lot harder for teachers and parents to keep up with protecting young kids from criminals online. The first TikTok predator I'm going to be talking about in today's video is a man called the Budday. I'm sure y'all probably recognize this guy from his super suspicious TikToks and also for being one of the most talked about TikTok predators. The Budday is a 26-year-old man who is known for making really weird TikTok videos like this one.
What they really want is they want a Batman in the streets and a Joker in the sheets.
Yeah. Even before he was exposed, there was always a really suspicious vibe about the Budday. But y'all, these videos were only the tip of the iceberg. Now, the Budday first started his social media journey on Musical.ly, where he had already gained a large following. But when he moved over to TikTok, he soon became the face of the weird old men on TikTok. However, you guys, things started to get more alarming when he began duetting other creators on TikTok. And most, if not all of these people he was watching were super young. Seriously, the girl in that video looks no older than 14 and the Budday is duetting her videos and appears to be naked. Literally, so gross. Anyways, the worst was still yet to come, as shortly after the Budday reached his peak of popularity on TikTok, a user on Musical.ly came forward to reveal that he had been sending completely inappropriate messages to minors, and the user, who was a minor themselves at the time, exposed the terrifying messages that the Budday was sending. When this came out, y'all, it got more and more attention, and suddenly more and more girls, some as young as just 14 years old, bravely came out to share their similar experiences as they were having with this predator. And the most shocking part about this was that a lot of the girls said that he had actually been sending not only super inappropriate text messages, but also pictures of himself naked. Now, you might be wondering what happened after all of this went down. Well, the Budday basically tried to deny all of the allegations made against him by claiming that he was hacked. But of course, just by looking at his TikTok where he was duetting minors pretending to kiss them, it was clear to everyone that Budday was on TikTok to target all of these young girls. Since getting exposed, the Budday has had all of his social media accounts disabled, including his TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat. And there are even rumors that since this, he has actually been arrested. So yeah, that is how Budday became the face of all the weirdos and creeps on the internet. But there are tons more that, despite having serious allegations made against them with lots of evidence, they still manage to gain millions on their platforms. As you can all probably tell, the people I'm talking about here are none other than the Lopez brothers, specifically Tony Lopez. I'm gonna take you back to when this all started, which was a long time ago now. Back in 2020, Tony and his brother were members of the infamous Hype House, which was the home of some of the biggest TikTok creators to date. But it all came crashing down as Tony was accused of trying to get explicit pictures from a girl who was just 15 years old. And shortly after this, another victim came forward and explained that she was coerced into having sex with Tony, even when she had admitted to only only being 15 at the time. Tony denied all of these accusations, but as more victims came out to expose the gross actions of Tony, his reputation was seriously damaged. Or was it? You see, loves, at first when this whole situation went down, all people could talk about was the allegations made against Tony, and his comments were full of people making jokes and memes about him being inappropriate with minors. However, y'all, this was nearly 2 years ago now, and since then, Tony has somehow managed to bring his TikTok back to life, and it's much harder to find any comments about his past actions. In fact, Tony somehow still has over 22 million fans. Like, that is absolutely terrifying when you think about how many of those followers could be underage fans. That could end up being just another one of Tony's victims. But anyways, you guys have heard me talk about this guy a lot already before, so I'm gonna move on to the next creep that has been caught out as a predator on TikTok. The next person I'm going to be talking about is not only one of the most recent predators that have been exposed on TikTok, but also one of the worst that I have ever seen. And that is Killy. Killy has become infamous and has even managed to be dubbed with the nickname the Downtown LA Predator, which really says a lot about why he is so recognized. But y'all, it wasn't people online that gave him this name, or even people that knew he is in LA. Dan gave himself this name, and he wears it around proudly, which is actually terrifying. He gave himself this nickname as he would spend most of his time walking the streets of LA, harassing women that he saw in the street, which made him known as someone to avoid if you saw him in public. It was actually found out that Dan was a registered sex offender after inappropriately recording a girl despite knowing that she was underage, and he was listed as high risk of reoffending, yet somehow was left to freely carry on harassing and objectifying women and young girls on the streets of LA, filming his disgusting interactions with some of these girls being just 14 years old, and then posting the clips to his YouTube channel. Dan's YouTube channel was finally disabled on February 13th, 2021, but this did not discourage him from finding a new nest to store his rants and disturbing views.
Okay, everyone needs to get married, and to a virgin girl who's underage, and produce as many babies as naturally are produced as a result of having sex.
Y'all guessed right. Dan decided to join TikTok, which, as we all know, is full of minors. The minimum age requirement for TikTok is already 13 years old. However, we have all seen children, obviously much younger than even that, making silly videos on our For You pages. And the fact that they can be so easily approached on the app by someone like that sends chills down my spine. Hopefully, TikTok itself can be more aware of these horrible creeps online and take down their accounts before they cause any harm. Check out my other videos similar to this by clicking here.